All right, welcome everybody and Boomer Sooner. It is Sunday, September 21st, 2025. I want to welcome Sean, Gavin, and Swiggy as we recap OU's game and conference opener this year against the Auburn Tigers, where OU, in a very, very back and forth defensive game, won 24-17 through a combined elite defense and a Mateer putting the team right on his back. Now, kudos to the Auburn Tigers that they are a very, very solid team. Um, I don't know what their season holds as they have Texas A&M, Georgia, and Alabama still on the slate, but they reminded me a lot of a Kansas State, like very, very well built fundamentals type of team. I saw like Jackson Arnold. I'm not going to say he's a world beater. I'm not going to say that he is uh, this overchanged development player, but we have seen a little bit of progression and stuff last night. I went to the game yesterday. I got a ticket with a friend of mine not last minute, but my dad has the other half of this split. But we showed up, went to the game, and boy, gentlemen, I got to tell y'all, the night and day atmosphere for playing SEC conference games versus Big 12 games is just different. I mean, you could crack the joke. It just means more, but I felt like the fans were just way more engaged at this point. But let's jump right into the Auburn game, guys, because I know there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of instant reactions. So let's start with you, Sean. Sean, how are you doing, buddy? What is
It,
your instant reaction to the
it,
Auburn
it,
game?
it's just a shame we had to overturn it and award the victory to Auburn like that. I mean, we had to do the right thing because we cheated so badly, and we paid the referees, and um,
We
you
are
know,
SEC ready.
well, it's not that we're not, Josh. We had to cheat to win, and the thing is, we haven't been in the SEC long enough to get away with doing that. So we're just like I think what Eddie Radosevich is doing with Senator Tuberville is the right thing. We're going to get this thing overturned as early as Monday afternoon. Maybe right before lunch you'll hear about it. So
It's a very,
I
very noble cause.
it's very noble because being the whiny little bitches that worship trees. Um, I don't like to think of it that Oklahoma won a football game. I like to think that we conserved a lot of toilet paper that could be used to wipe away some tears for future Auburn losses, and maybe they could maybe wipe their butts because they got a lot of sore ass going on right now. Um,
You
but
are
ser-
not wrong. You are
but
absolutely not wrong. Like,
uh,
I have not seen a fan base melt down and go full on wanting to hate a fan.
we
Usually it takes us decades to get to
we
that point.
have
It
not
took
had
us
a re-
5 games.
we have not had a good it, the few times we played Auburn in the modern era, um, within we played them 3 times in the past 10 years, and it wasn't a good interaction either way.
Correct.
And so I can only imagine what it's like when we eventually take our first L to this team, whenever that may happen.
It'll feel
Um,
the exact same way when we took our first L to Baylor. That's how it's going to feel.
I don't think you're prepared.
Mm.
You no no you are not prepared. First of all, I apologize to Auburn if you're listening to comparing you to Baylor like that. A team that was much better than Oklahoma, by the way. I just want
That's
to point
true.
that out.
That's
Point
true.
that out too. But still,
Yeah.
that's a no. The obnoxious I like how Auburn fans saying we're the most obnoxious fan base and everything. It's like we keep this up, we're gonna be the most hated team wearing crimson in the conference according to them. So
It's
just
I mean,
absolutely
they
funny you cracked
just
that
give it
joke.
to. But getting to the game itself, because I'm kind of dancing around and having a little. We're having fun, as fake Jerry likes to say.
Sure.
Um,
Real fast, it's funny you say that because I told that to my dad on his drive home yesterday that, man, Auburn's just upset because they have to have 2 losses to Crimson teams this year, not just one.
I don't know, man. I think the Iron Ball is gonna be pretty fucking good this year.
Fair. Okay, fair, fair.
I mean, Jackson
But
Arnold ain't gonna do what he did last year, in my opinion, but it'll be good.
sure.
Um,
Mhm.
God, it'd be really fun if he did. So, uh, I I had a moment after that safety. I kind of broke my headset, and it's taped together with like scotch tape. I'm getting a new one soon, so it still works, kind of. But R. Mason Thomas does me a new headset, so he gets paid NIL now, so he can easily Venmo me the cash.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
John Mateer could do it. I'm sure if he could do it through him. Um, because I'm sure John Mateer had OU to cover. Very important. So he owes our Mason
Absolutely.
Thomas did him a favor because OU covered, and I'm sure there'll be a Venmo transaction that we can't see anymore. But for this game, I just have to. I have to call like people who show up to my stream again, and I don't know why I expect any better from those people who show up, but like the whiny bitches. He's like at 7 minutes and we're down 1 point, the game is over. Y'all, and I know no one's gonna hear this here, all due respect, but like y'all need
Hey,
to
there's
know.
5 people.
There's 5 people. Like, but if you're one of those people who like at 7 minutes left in the game, you thought we were gonna lose, you need to nut up, and also you need to get ready for the world we live in now. We do not
Yeah.
live in a world where our schedule is like a Big 12 schedule, or maybe one team at home is going to be quasi challenging. That schedule's gone. It's been gone for a while now.
Yeah.
So Michigan is like that. Auburn's going to be like that. Ole Miss going to be like that.
Yeah.
Mizzou going to be like that. LSU going to be like that. And guess what? We might lose one or two of those. That's the world we live in now. Because that other thing, this isn't just an OU thing. This whole idea of like your team is going to be Billy Badass every year in your conference and win 10 games, and like Ohio State's going to run the Big 10, and Oklahoma's going to run the Big 12, and Clemson's going to run the ACC, and or whatever. It's like no,
Correct.
those
This is going
days
to be
are over. Don't get me wrong. You'll have a team that goes on a run for a couple of years, but then they're going to fall off because someone else is going to pop back up. Because you'll have figured out the system, or you have the money, the coaching, you have the perfect like. I don't know if we're ever going to see a dynasty like Alabama had ever again, or anything that Florida State did in the 90s. Just
because that was generational.
Yeah, it was a different world. We're not going to have these years where you're going to be top 5 every year. No, it's going to be closer to the NFL, where you're going to have some good years, you have some down years.
And the definition of NFL would be, are you making it to the semifinals? Kind of like a Kansas City.
No, not even that. It's like Kansas City is like going on. That's an epic run too. What I'm talking about is like, are you going to win your division every year type of thing? But guess what? Sometimes you win your division and you're a 6-loss team in the NFL, or a 7-loss team in the NFL.
Correct.
But for the game itself, I came away from this mostly like, these are the games, like not everything specifically, but these are the type of games I just dreamed of when Oklahoma was announced to join the SEC. Because Josh, you were there.
Yeah, I was.
I can't put into words how good it feels to win a game like that. And what I mean by that is you played superbly on defense. One of the best defensive performances we've seen from an Oklahoma team in a long, long time. For a brief moment, we had a team sack record. Then it got taken away magically by a referee, like after the game. But the point of the matter is, like, apparently they can change a sack, but they can't overturn a call in the second quarter. Auburn fans got to look into that. But the point of the matter is, you had a great defense, an epic and elite defensive performance. But the other side of the football, you had some struggles. You weren't able to do some of the things you normally could do. You still can't run the ball. There's reasons behind that, which we'll get into in a minute.
Correct.
But you had to like dig down deep and win a hard-fought football game, and it felt good to win that football game. And you didn't do it against Podunk, TCU, or Baylor. This was Auburn. This was a game. You're watching one or two games at 3:30 in the afternoon. You're watching Michigan, Nebraska, or you're watching OU Auburn. You're watching one of those two games, and both games came down to the wire. Now ours was more down to the wire because, like Nebraska got a late score and it looks prettier than it did, but still, a lot of people had eyeballs in that game. That's 2 big wins Oklahoma's had where a lot of people were watching.
Correct.
So a lot of people love them. OU has a top 5 defense statistically, and I think they reinforce their defense is real. Not many teams, period, have the depth on the D line that Oklahoma has right now. It's kind of insane to say out loud. If I would have told you 10 years ago, guys, we're going to go to the SEC for first year is going to be rough. It's going to suck. Year 2, we're going to have the best front 7 in the SEC. Not Georgia, not Alabama, not LSU.
We're going back to old school, true.
I'm talking
1970s Oklahoma, 1980s Oklahoma.
No, it's like I'm thinking like I have to start comparing these guys potentially to the Selmans and Jimbo Elrod.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the 70s.
Or, Tony Casillas and Brian
Boz and
Bosworth and all those guys on those mid-'80s teams.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what we're going to have to do now if this
Correct.
continues. So just you can nitpick. We're going to pull apart this game and nitpick. And there's I think one it's a positive that you can look at this game and say they can still get better. They can still keep getting better, especially on the offensive side of the football, because they got a lot to work on. But man, that defense is going to give you a chance in every game this year. Are you going to win all of them? Probably not. But you're going to have a fighting chance. Like, someone's going to have to earn points against that front seven. You're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But it's a shame we had to overturn the win and give it back to Auburn. So
exactly. I definitely agree with you that.
Screw that, Sean. I'm not giving back that win whatsoever.
No, you got to do it, man. It's the right thing to do.
It's good sportsmanship, Gavin.
It's the right thing to do.
I don't care about sportsmanship. I'm taking the win. Period. I don't care what Auburn has to say.
We got to do the right thing. We're not.
Who cares? The scoreboard still says it otherwise.
I know,
and the
guys,
scoreboard overrides that any day of the
week. Guys, here's the problem. Auburn has more national titles than us. Okay, we just have to accept that.
That's true.
And you know what they're going to do tomorrow? They're just going to claim that win anyway. By the time we get to the committee, they're just going to say they won that game. And who's been in the SEC longer? Are they going to take their word or ours? The new guy. Are they going to take the new guy's word? I don't. What? Who cares if you have video evidence to support that you won the football game? It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Like, we're still pledges to this new club, this new fraternity.
Yeah. So they don't like the other Crimson. But to add to your point, I was going to follow up and say, yes, I think a lot of people don't understand. And the closest analogy I can think of is what the old school was like, getting blood from a stone type of deal. Like, we're going to be grinding these games out. I think a lot of people are stuck in the mentality that.
Hold up, Josh, really quick.
Go ahead.
That's ironic because all David Stone does is draw blood.
No, actually, that's Owen Heineke.
Heineke does, yes. For all of you that don't know,
that
he had a fracture and just played through it. It's like Venables was like, cool, go out there, buddy, have fun.
He's either I don't know if he's going to need a club for that, but that's one of those things where it's like, just do what you got to do. So I can go out and hit people.
Yes, exactly. But it's exactly what you said, is that the people who thought with 7 minutes that it was over. Yes, I understand we have PTSD from last year. And I also understand, or from previous years and stuff. I also understand too that they have the mentality with Jackson. Jackson Arnold would have not won this game. This game would have been over for it. But you have Mateer. Mateer showed he could put the game on his back at Michigan. When stuff needed to be done, he could do that. He's a more dynamic quarterback. The game was nowhere near over. It's what my dad always said. It's what I've adopted from it. It's not over till it says final on the scoreboard, and they put up great drives. Like, if you think that Arbuckle and Brent didn't get into their bag of tricks, like, they had a lot ready to go.
They didn't. I mean, the problem was the one thing Arbuckle had to get away from, he tried way too hard, like
on the run.
Well, no, it wasn't just I don't have a problem trying to establish a run, but he went way back to the fucking end arounds, reverses, pop passes way too many times.
All the key stuff.
Every time that was like for a 5-yard loss.
I agree.
And it's like, that this shit ain't working, dude, because here's the problem. You can't run those right now, and everyone's going to judge. I know some people are bagging on we can't run the football, and that needs to get improved. But here's the thing.
And I will say I agree with that, because
hang on. You had two guys out there in Michaela and Weewoo who could not move. They were going to basically pass protect most of the night, and that was it.
Correct.
Fasusi
and be honest, this was their worst game of the year. Let's be honest. I actually thought
Fabenchi played pretty damn
well.
I'm
talking as a unit. The O-line, this was their worst game.
But it's like Fasusi played less than 10 snaps. He's just like, nah, I can't do this. And I'm glad they pulled him, because it's like, dude, it's not worth it. Don't go out there and get more hurt.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna need him in 3 weeks.
Correct.
I'll tell you what, because let's be honest, like, it's fun to yell and make fun of Texas and have a good time, and nobody does it better than me. It's gonna be a war in 3 weeks.
Correct.
especially for our offense against their defense. If we don't win that war, if we can't find a way to win that war, Arch may be struggling, and I don't care what he did last night against like future, Costco assistant managers. But I mean,
hey, give them credit. They're going to be district managers.
I'd say he can run. But Arch can run the ball a little bit.
Absolutely.
A little bit, but it's just they need to heal up. I don't know what the plans are. Just like all three of those guys need to live in the training room, and just whatever you got to do this week. Just I don't know what the mentality is, but just like heal. Kent State's a glorified scrimmage.
Correct.
I would just play Howland again at tackle, just like if you need to. Like I don't need because Fasusi has played in one football game this year, pretty much, basically one. I mean, I don't count last night. So if you want to put Howland back out there, fine. He's good enough. We're good enough to do what we want to do against Kent State. It should be hopefully similar to what Texas did to Sam Houston last night.
Yeah.
And then we roll out to Dallas. But so I pretty much consider us 5-0 right now. We just got to make it official, 2 weeks, like 13 days from now. So
correct.
But great atmosphere.
It was fantastic. I'll get into a second. Go ahead, and then I want Gavin to. I know Gavin's itching.
And I just a game ball to Sandell. He was perfect on the day, and because we needed every one of his kicks. So, also Grayson Miller, great punt, dude. We need to defense. We got to play defense as good as the defense played last night. They need to clean some stuff up too, because we had a couple opportunities where we had him pinned deep, and this is not all on Cortland Guillory. It's not all on him.
It sucks he got picked on, but I mean, if I was Hugh Freeze and stuff too, I would do the exact same thing. Coleman is a 5-star wide receiver, and he played like a 5-star wide receiver. He is great.
He's a mutant.
I'm a little jealous we don't have him.
Yeah, he's a mutant, and we likely won't play them again next year, but who knows?
We'll know that all Tuesday.
Yes, we're not. I don't know if we'll know the schedule, but we'll know what opponents we're playing next year. All of them. Like all 9, and we'll know our opponents as well. So
correct, and we'll circle around to that in a moment. Gavin, I know you're itching to hop in, throw your opinion in. What's your instant? Sure thing. What's your instant recap of the Auburn game? What have you got for us?
I'm gonna just tell you my instant recap and everything. You guys gotta hit a few points and everything. I think the biggest issue that I've had more than anything else too, it was like I think this has probably been like the first time to where. I kind of looking back into the fourth quarter. If you guys was watching the rush, especially when that sack happened for a safety, something that I really noticed and everything was like, if you saw how all the defensive line, just basically they did not rush at all past the line of scrimmage. It was just R. Mason Thomas just basically going one-on-one, bull rush his man, passing the running back into R. Mason Thomas. I mean, it was almost like I was almost like seeing almost like it was like Senior Bowl type of play, if anything else, though, too, like how they would do with like a simple, warm up or something like that, though, too. That's what it was like. I was like surprised. I was like, wait a minute, your guys are just not going to rush and everything like that. I guess there was a whole deal where Grace Hilton, I think it said in his post interview, saying R. Mason was like, I want him bad. Let me do it. You guys don't even mess with it. And sure enough, that's basically what happened. I was like, holy shit. Are we seriously doing that? I was like, it was like, I would expected, like if anything else, but man, R. Mason took this game personally, and boy, he came out, at the right time, for all the extra sacks. And that's what's so scary. And it's like how Sean mentioned about the depth of this front seven. This front seven is so scary right now to where if you got like 7-8 sacks without your best edge rusher for the entire game. Yeah. Holy crap. It's like, I don't know. Like, I want you to find another defense that's as good as this OU defense right now.
I think the only one that could even be, I don't know. I was about to say Miami, but even then I'm like, I don't know, because they kind of almost fucked around and found out with Florida a little bit. So I don't know. But you're right. This defensive front is fantastic. And it's exactly what Sean said in his recap was we did all that, and what you mentioned too, Gavin. We did that without R. Mason Thomas. And then all of a sudden R. Mason shows up, and he added that little bit of depth that we needed, and he was, as someone put in it was a recap. I forgot which one it was, but they basically said the defense acts like a pack of hyenas, and they do. They are on the hunt. They are nasty, and they live up unlike in 2011 when they called themselves the Sharks and kind of fell flat and were the minnows. These guys, they're headhunters. They are out for blood. It's wonderful to be able to finally cheer for a defense that is competent, knows their assignments. Even at the game when I'm watching, they saw Jackson Arnold starting to audible. They saw him trying to move some stuff around, and they were waving around, they were pointing, they were getting stuff adjusted. Now, a couple times did they get burned? Sure. That's part of the game for it, that he's going to launch the ball immediately. But boy, did they have just identified it. And again, to credit what everyone has already said, from leaps and bounds from 5 years ago to now, it's wild how much this defense just shuts down, and it's suffocating. And it's fantastic to see such an elite defense. Swiggy, I see you muting and unmuting. What's your instant recap at the moment? What's some takeaways from the game?
Well, my instant recap is an answer to Gavin's question. The best defense currently in college football is whoever is playing against Clemson.
That's true. That is very true. Clemson is just they are a train wreck at the moment.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that later. But
here's a fun fact. Clemson has one win, and yet lightning delays. They have 2 wins with teams that have the lightning delays.
That's wild.
Two lightning delays versus 1 win. Couldn't happen to a nicer group. But anyway.
What is it with these orange teams, Swiggy? That's why.
You guys have covered what I've mostly covered. I do think people, and I've said for a couple of years with realignment and everything, people are going to have to accept that there's a new world order in college football. And, we have a playoff now, so let me tell you, if OU goes 10, if OU only has 2 losses, we're probably making the playoff with the resume and teams we've beat.
Yeah,
that's just a fact. But that's just how it is now. This isn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, this isn't 20 years ago where you'll have one or you'll have 1 or 2 big you'll have maybe 3 big games a year. BCS is going to say, okay, you're undefeated, you're getting in, and it's good to go. Yeah. And I'm glad it's like that. I want to be clear. I would rather have I said when we left for the Big 12 for the SEC, you can't just live your life beating Kansas every year and saying that's enough.
Correct.
Because it feels good to put up 40 on Kansas. It does. I don't deny that. But that was the perfect kind of gritty win that we needed, and to show that we can do it. I know people don't want to. I know people don't want to hear it, but that's just the way things are going. I mean, you're
Correct.
looking at that. You're looking at now in even how people are treating non-conference opponents, where the future of non-conference is where if you want to be taken seriously, FCS, that's not happening anymore, guys.
Correct.
It's
correct. Yeah.
But
it's a different world, and it's the same thing Sean has mirrored as well. It's a different world now, and you should expect we are going to drop a game. We may drop 2 or 3 or 4. That's the reality of it, but it's not as detrimental where you drop 1 game, you're just out of it now. That's not the case.
No. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good we haven't. I like that. I like the idea of going into Texas, knock on wood, undefeated, because we still have the world beaters that are Kent State. But I mean, game went about how I did. Defense, you'd like it to be a little bit better, but still they did their jobs and they gave us a chance to win. Offense, I mean, look for the first taste of an SEC defense, and I mean we saw this a few weeks ago at Michigan, where things weren't going to run perfect. Things were not going to run perfect. It's like Yeah, playing Temple didn't magically fix the offense.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Not that the offense, not none of the offense is bad, but it's capable. Still, the big fear is if Mateer takes a big hit, what's going to happen then? But I mean, overall, I like. But overall, we're not picking up injuries like we did. Not picking up injuries like we did last year. At least, it's like everything's at a normal amount. Yeah, I liked what I saw. And I liked what we did.
Yeah. There's something to add real briefly too while it's on my mind for it. With some exceptions for it, kudos to the crowd too. Like the crowd was a factor yesterday. It's some of the loudest I've heard the crowd just disrupting
you mean,
Auburn.
Josh, you mean now that we actually have games worth of shit in Norman that our crowd actually is capable of getting loud like other great home atmospheres? Like, what a concept.
I know, right? Magical. I think there was four delay of games on Auburn just from the sheer crowd noise.
Yeah, that shit tends to help in a game like that where you're trying to put someone away.
And it's making them burn their timeouts and stuff too as well. Like it really
don't forget the false starts as well.
Correct.
That's what we're saying. Like,
the false starts, the delay games, like that was on the crowd. It's been a hot minute though since the crowd has played a hard impact.
And you had Hugh Freeze and Surrender Cobra most of the second half.
Oh, exactly. He was losing his mind.
And but it's because we cheated. But
exactly. I real briefly, I mentioned it because guys, I will say, I understand we've all been to different games, we've all heard different things. I cannot tell you the explosion the stadium had when R. Mason Thomas came around and just sacked Arnold, and right when at the beginning of the second half.
That was targeting. Fuck off.
No, it wasn't. But that stadium, that was the loudest I've heard. I think I have genuinely heard the stadium on an individual play. That everybody was rocking on that. And I saw it. I was in section 12 and saw it was right in front of me. You saw him crab. I'm like, he's gonna do it. He just jumps like Superman. Oh, it was beautiful.
He was like a raptor in 1993, just like he hit Muldoon from behind. Clever girl.
That was a great reference. I'm so proud of your references.
Here's the thing. you know what I hope very soon happens? Because I've been wanting this to happen for a long time because I'm sick of calling back to it. I hope we are getting very close to being done having to call back to 2008 Texas Tech. I'm so sick of it. Was it a great moment? Was I there for it? Yeah. But that, holy crap, we're almost 20 years old with that shit. We need to have a better home game.
I get why we call back to it though, because we haven't had the opportunities.
But that's my point though. It's like, I hope this is like the starting now. We don't have to immediately, God, it was such a great home atmosphere versus Texas Tech in 2008. And it's like, I'm not mad at people
because usually we have the atmosphere is at other people's houses.
Yeah, we're like, that's the beauty of it. We're no longer the main event for a conference. We can still be one of the main events. That's the difference. Like that's the problem when you're the king of your own territory, pretty much, and the biggest team you play is at a neutral site, because that's why Joe C would get these non-conference games. And the problem was we didn't win those. The ones that were at home, we rarely won them. Tennessee was not in Tennessee. We beat Tennessee, but they weren't that good in 14.
Correct.
So Notre Dame, Ohio State, we flubbed those, and we beat Florida State in Miami a couple of years when they weren't very good. So we had helmet matchups that were fun to look at, but we didn't have our home schedule is ridiculously insane this year, and for all we know,
it's fun.
By the way, Ole Miss is favored this week over LSU, and so Ole Miss because their backup quarterback
really.
Ole Miss's backup QB, it might turn out to be more dynamic than Simmons. So
give it a shot.
Well, no, he's got a shot. That's why.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he came in. He played like 99% of the game against Arkansas,
And maybe
they
that's
put
why
up-
he's favored.
and they put up points. So
Yeah. I would say, Sean, to add to the crowd and stuff as well, because I wanted to delve just a little bit to that as well. I think, and you mentioned it in your recap, and I don't want to take away from your recap. I think the SEC has finally realized we're not stuck in here with you guys. You're stuck in here with us.
Whoa! I didn't say that. Whoa!
I'm not.
That's not what I said.
You put it. You did a little
That's
bit.
not
You
what
inferred
I
a little bit.
said. What I said was last year it was a test run and we kind of failed horribly. This year we're a part of this
Correct.
conference now. We're not.
Correct.
What I said was we're not just a team on the schedule that you're probably gonna
Correct.
beat.
And that's what I'm inferring to.
I did not say you're stuck in here. No, do not put those words in my mouth. Fuck you. I did not say that shit.
Sure.
Because
I'm saying
as
that,
much
but-
as I'm high on this team, we ain't there yet. Not
Sure.
yet. Now, can we win every game on our schedule at this point? Yes, but we have to win specific ways. Now, there's multiple routes to do it. We have multiple routes to win, but it's just we're the defense is what I kind of wish they were. I wish they could have been last year, because if this defense was the way it was last year, we'd be like, we probably beat Tennessee. we probably
Yeah.
we definitely beat Missouri. But it's I'm glad we have a couple weeks off because I need it for my blood pressure. And
Same.
I am just it's a big slate this week. It's like the slate like for the bye week is
It was like second week. Yeah.
No,
Like the second week of the year.
Well,
when we played Michigan, like or
Well,
the first week. I'm sorry.
But we have the week off, and this is your slate. I mean, SC Illinois will be whatever. You get to see Auburn at A&M 3:30. Notre Dame Arkansas at noon. That will be interesting to see whose season gets worse. Ohio State Washington at 3:30. Oregon Penn State at 7:30. LSU Ole Miss at 3:30. Bama Georgia at 7:30. These are all Eastern. You're gonna need multiple TVs. LSU Ole Miss is fascinating to me. Auburn A&M is fascinating to me. Definitely Oregon Penn State, because I want to see if Penn State can afford to have a shitty first half offensively and then wake up in the second half. I don't know much about Washington right now, so it'll be, just like I need like. God,
they're Apple Cup champions, Sean. They're Apple Cup champions.
I need 3 screens for middle afternoon on Saturday. Jeez, I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off. I mean, I can, but it's just gonna be interesting. But I'm not a big Josh Pate fan, but I got to give credit where it's due. Earlier today, he said Oklahoma had more sacks on Saturday than 90 teams have had all season in the FBS. A Texas fan responds, "There it is, LOL, weekly OU glaze." And I got to give props to the man. He responds, "I'm not Sam Houston State, bud. You don't need to flex on me."
Damn.
I give credit where it's due.
Wow.
That's nice. That's nice.
I'm not the biggest fan of him, but credit where it's due.
Well, here's the simple fact. OU's played Auburn, and we've played Michigan. And beat them both. Well, Texas lost week 1 to Ohio State, had nothing to talk about.
We can at least say right now, for whatever it's worth, that OU is battle tested.
Yeah,
Texas disappeared.
Absolutely.
Texas disappeared with their. I mean, which that's why they need. Well, that's why Texas needed to beat Ohio. They didn't need to beat Ohio State, but yeah, I mean, they've been nowhere to be found for the last 3 weeks.
No, they needed to beat Ohio State because. Guess what's happening right now?
It's what the prophecy has been fulfilled, like you said in preseason.
Here's the thing. Arch finally did what I thought he would do the last 2 games and have an amazing game and look like he's competent. The problem is he did against Sam Houston State. And there's a lot of people online who are falling for it. Falling for it in the sense that everything's hunky-dory. And I was like, bitch, if you think you good based off that game...
Well, here's the thing.
They're going to go down to Gainesville, and they may still win in Gainesville, but Florida still got a D-line themselves. Last I checked, your O-line ain't fixed. So
I'm not saying.
And I'm
I'm not saying Arch has had a giant target on him just because anyone who gets Heisman talk gets a giant target. but I don't know, man. Stunting on Sam Houston State.
Him flexing on that dude's another red flag.
Exactly. Like
Because
it's
that
Sam
tells me
Houston
all that
State.
shit.
Yeah.
That tells me that all that shit's in his head, and he let it get in his head, and you just flexed on a dude who's not playing football after this year, probably.
You said it in the
Yeah.
recap.
I would be
Sean. Is it
here's the
who
thing.
I'm
If I
thinking of who was
here's
like,
the thing. If I would be excited to play, I'd be excited to play Texas because I'd want to knock Arch. I would want to knock Arch to the ground.
knock him off his pedestal at the moment.
Well, Arch is like 6'4". He's a bit of a gazelle, so it's pretty hard to do for anybody. I mean, I might be able to do it. I have the size to do it, but I don't know if I'm fast enough. But the point of the matter is, it's like people are looking at that as a positive. Like, yeah, like he got it. It's like, dude, it was in his head. He in the moment he lost it. He flexed on a dude who shouldn't be playing Division I football.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's bad.
You stood
bad,
over
man.
you stood over a dude like you were like were you like you were a 1980s Miami Hurricane. Like in the old Orange Bowl, like standing over someone from Syracuse or whatever, and you just like, well, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So, like, they go to Gainesville in 2 weeks. So, not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday. So we're gonna play Kent State. I have no idea if they have a kickoff time for that Texas Florida game. I hope it's a noon kick because it deserves to be there. It really does. If they put that in prime time, I know why they do it, why they're gonna do it, but I hope that's a noon kick because it deserves. Like, Florida's not good offensively, neither is Texas.
I could have sworn that they had that already.
No, that's like a 13-day or 6-day window, maybe. Let me double for shits and giggles. Let me double check. Let me see if they have anything yet. Let's go to the next week.
No, they don't. I thought they had something when we had stuff and everything for it, but I guess they don't.
No, well, it's their. I mean, we're gonna know probably just next weekend, just straight up.
Sure,
Well, that's
sure.
what we'll know. I mean, we know when we're playing Kent State, but it's like 4:00 on SEC Network, I think. But which is where
3:00 local time kickoff.
Which is where it belongs.
Well, hold up. It's a Texas Florida is a flex. It's either the 3:30 to 4:30 or between 6 and 8. So it's not going to be a.
Yeah.
They're actually going to put that in a decent time slot. My God. I mean, before the year it made sense. Not gonna pretend it didn't, but now it's like, oh God, you're gonna watch two hobos fighting over a ham sandwich when it comes to those offenses. It's just those defenses are just. It's gonna be who gets the first team to 2.
Yeah, Georgia it looks like Georgia Kentucky got the noon window. So
yeah.
Normally that'd be a sleeper game, and Kentucky kind of sucks this year. So
yeah.
So it's is what it is. Is what it is on that.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have a question for you guys, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, how do you guys feel? Even though this defense has been so good, do you think it feels weird right now that we're already 4 games in, and yet we still do not have a turnover?
I think in hindsight, it's funny as hell, but because
it is concerning.
I'm not concerned because
turnovers can be luck based.
It would be concerning if they weren't the number 4 defense in the country. You know what I mean? It's more it's more silly. I can laugh at it a little bit as opposed to if we were like the 38th defense, I would be concerned because there would be a way more glaring warts that we'd have to deal with. But and I'm not saying there's not stuff to clean up because there is, but it's just Peyton Bowen had it right there. Kendall Daniels had one right there. It's not like they're not in. It's like they've been in position. It's just one of those. And you sack a dude 10 times, and props to him, he did not one time fumble that football. I don't think Jackson Arnold fumbled the ball once yesterday.
No.
So if there's one thing you got to give that dude in that game, as many hits as he took, because he took a beating. He didn't drop the ball once. I don't even think there was a moment where lost the ball out of bounds. I don't even recall that happening.
No, he took. I mean,
No,
like
there
I said,
wasn't.
there was some growing up with Jackson Arnold, and that was one of those. He held on
He
to the
still
ball.
got his ass whooped, and deservedly so, and properly so. But I don't think he did, and it wasn't for lack of trying by our team.
Yeah.
Like
And I
got,
They
think
tried.
it's
They genuinely tried. Yeah.
so,
and I think what's ironic that we were saying when you just now saying that, Sean, it was that Jackson Arnold now has two different stats in OU history: the most
yeah,
sacks as an OU QB, and then the most sacks that the defense
received
has
by
put
OU
on
defense,
as an opposing quarterback
that is such a college football
received by OU
stat.
defense.
So, but yeah, you would have
It
thought
is.
someone,
So it's like that is kind of something needed.
you would have thought like Eric Moore or some random '90s OU quarterback would have had a stat like that, but no.
I mean, but to answer your question, Gavin, I think it is concerning we don't have takeaways. I get it. We see it, but man, I really, really wish that that was probably some of the loudest the stadium got yesterday too. There was some little booing from people when they just could not hold on to that ball. And I get it. There's frustration. They had it both times. John?
Oh, okay. I was trying to clarify what they were booing about, but
it was after the second interception drop. There was a boo.
First of all, Peyton Bowen's playing his best football at OU.
Yeah.
If there's like the corners, like this is Gentry's first game, back after the I guess he had a strain or something or whatever. But
yeah,
both. I mean, he had kind of he didn't have the greatest day, and obviously Cortland didn't have a great day. I remember they put Devin Jordan out there one time, and he got cooked pretty easily by that little double move by Coleman.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like, okay, they finally put a safety over top for help, but because like the first quarter, OU did not like rush much at all. They did not try. They were not aggressive from the get go. So it was like early on, first quarter, it was like they just kind of eased him into it. They let him get a little comfortable, and then second quarter is when they kind of like started like releasing the hounds, so to speak. Release the hounds.
Yeah,
and that's when shit got going.
Correct, and I would say I wanted to add, Gavin. Go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead because mine's a whole different subject I was going to bring up. But go ahead.
Separate one, sure. I think, Gavin, you mentioned a stat. You know what was incredible to me, like as a stat for it, and it was until the fourth quarter that Auburn had negative rushing yards until they broke away on that 44-yard rush. Like they were in the negatives for a long time, and I understand they couldn't get the run game going, and Jackson kept getting sacked. I just thought it was wild. We went through 3 quarters, and they were like there was like negative stats every single time, and I get it. I get just like I give credit where credit is due. Again, I felt like Jackson did.
There's some bad tackling on one of those runs on our part that like.
Oh yeah, there is.
Or 4 guys basically missed tackles until our Mason Thomas of all people like tracked him down.
Yeah, that was that big return or the pass. Was it the pass play?
No, it was that run. No, it was that run.
Sorry. I'm not as hoarse as I was with the Michigan game, but I need it.
Hey.
I need some liquids and stuff still.
Well, it was basically that huge run that our Mason Thomas basically ran down that running back, that went like 30 plus yards.
Yeah. The big one, I think, I'm trying to remember it. There was like 2 or 3, but it goes back to the kind of my question too was, did Jackson Arnold really have an impact on the game? In some respects, I could say yes.
Of course wait. Of course he had an impact on the game. Are you kidding me?
Well, yes, he contributed to 10 sacks.
He made some clutch throws.
Yes,
he had and clutch runs. Of course he had an impact on the game.
And I go back and forth on it because I say at points.
What do you go back and forth? He totally had an impact on the game. There is no debate over that.
I feel like he had. I feel like some of his
when they mattered to keep Auburn in the football game. You don't.
Sure.
Like to say he didn't have an impact on the game is kind of silly.
I would say he was inconsistent at best because a lot of those were like.
No, we're not. We're not talking about how consistent he was. You're asking if he had an impact on the game, and the answer is yes.
Sure. I look at it as consistency and impact go together for it, but if you want to say like that, sure.
You can make one play and have an impact.
Sure.
Yeah, and the other part of
Grayson
it
Miller
too,
had
Josh,
an impact in the football game when he made that one punt for 60 plus and put them deep in their own so. I'm just saying we need to clear. I want to clarify is like, yes, Jackson Arnold had an impact on the game positively for Auburn.
Sure. Well, the other part of it too, kind of going into this different direction though too. Jackson Arnold pretty much had an impact because he held onto the ball for the longest time because it was like, especially with how the secondary was covering them and everything. Hang on one sec. Basically,
which is Gavin.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, just from that sort of standpoint, if anything, it's just more of a way of looking at it to where I think, if anything, he's just basically holding on to the ball so long and everything that it just gave our defense time to get sacks more than anything. Instead of like just trying to go out and scramble, if anything else, though, too, he just basically kind of somewhat had deer in the headlights and just froze in the pocket.
Correct.
Well, he was depending on that. I mean, he was he was being patient, but like you do not have longer than 3.5, 4 seconds against.
At some point, you have to zip the ball, which is funny. I want to mention this because I had I'm doing our wonderful football gods work. I have a friend over in Germany who finally got invested in American football and said, I want to give this a shot. You've mentioned it a lot, and I've seen some highlights. I think this is great. He watched the Michigan game, fell in love with the game. So his family stayed up and watched the.
There is something with Europeans and YouTube where they get on YouTube and they react to college football clips and videos, and they're like, oh, because they finally they say, oh, like this is where your most passionate fans in the across the pond come from.
Correct.
And their whole thing. Wait. You're this insane for quote unquote for university,
and they don't understand that because
this is for university because that's
correct.
What they say. They can't comprehend.
Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. And then I showed it to him. I said, now keep in mind this is not. And I know a little derailed, but I'm circling back around to your point, Gavin. He said, I don't understand why, but I know it's a cultural difference thing, and that's A-okay. He's learning. His family's learning. They're 7 hours ahead, so they have to wait for the game. So when kickoff happens like 2:30 here, it's 9:30 p.m. there. So he watched it, and he said he loved the game. He loved watching like the plays. He's like, this feels like a production. It doesn't feel like a casual viewing experience like he would go to the pub. And it's funny, Gavin, you said that holding on to the ball, because he even pointed out, he's like, I don't know the strategy. He's like, again, I'm only in my second game. But it felt like the other team's opponent that wasn't OU's, he held onto the ball so long. I would have at least tried something. I'm like, it's funny you say that because even a casual fan is pointing out, bro, you're holding onto the ball way too long. But then again, I also laugh too, where he didn't in football and soccer over there, they don't understand the concept of a safety, and it took me 30 to 45 minutes to explain what a safety was. And it's just like,
if you're standing in your own goal area and you get tackled with the ball, it's 2 points for the other team.
Well, why does the other team get the ball then? Because they score. And it was just breaking down football, but it was just funny. It's like they're so invested and then still they just don't understand. Yeah. They didn't understand what kneeing was. Like, why don't you just play through the game? And I said, you don't want to turn over the ball, just in the game. Well, in soccer, they keep going for it. I'm like, but there's no minutes at it. There was a lot of translation, and it's just fun. Like,
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Europeans. Your little like stoppage time thing is stupid because there's way more excitement and drama when you have a ticking clock and you know when the clock hits and you know specifically down to the millisecond how much time you have left. Because when it's like 6 minutes stoppage time, you're just kind of like, I think I know how much time is left, but it's like you get to 95 minutes and it's like, okay, do we have like a minute 20, a minute 30, a minute?
And what's funny, he said that got him hooked with his family. He likes the drama because he's like, I would have thought y'all would have lost, and he's like, his favorite play from the entire game was the Mateer touchdown. He's like, that guy is a stud. He's like, I never knew you could do that. And then he stretches it out. I'm like, oh yeah, that is what they teach. Like, they hope you don't fumble it, but it's a great highlight reel. And he loved that. His family loved it. So slowly working and converting people to watch American football.
John
But
Mateer,
to
big in
your
Germany.
point, Gavin and Sean.
Take that.
Yep. It's funny y'all mentioned that, because even a super casual fan, notice Arnold holds on to the ball too long. And I just wanted to drive that point home. So, Sean, you wanted to bring up something completely separate, though.
Do we want to waste like 45 minutes debating the most egregious play in the game, or do we just want to say we cheated?
I want to acknowledge it a little bit.
Can we just say we cheated, haha, and just like move on? Because like,
I've been writing that of the OU cheated. I've had a meme go up of Jackson Arnold with the R. Mason Thomas of OU cheated LOL scoreboard.
Right.
I've been posting that everywhere.
Can I say something about that though? I'm very passionate about that, because I don't think what Auburn fans understand, because we're new to the SEC, and every school has traditions, right? Auburn's got traditions. They have the eagle stupidly fly around and crash into windows and stuff. Alabama has their traditions. LSU, they play a very offensive song called "Neck" from time to time.
My dad asked about that, because he started singing. He's like, "What's neck?" I'm like, "Something you don't need to know."
Do not sing "Neck." Siri,
no.
play "Neck." So I feel that Isaiah Satania, who is a newcomer to our program, and also Ben Arbuckle, wanted to honor and cherish our traditions in the great state of Oklahoma. Because as most of you know, most people don't know what a Sooner is. And it's sometimes we have to explain what a Sooner is. And it's like, well, back when the Oklahoma became land to claim, the government declared this is going to be land that we could all claim, and we're going to have the famous land runs. If you spent any time in public schools in the state of Oklahoma, you took Oklahoma State history freshman year of high school.
We hope you did.
I mean, it's required by the state, and we have an Indian in charge of ours.
Oklahoma has a history.
I know, right? So the point of the matter is that we learned that when people who showed up to the correct place and time, they would fire off the cannons, fire off the guns, kind of like we do on what the Roughnecks do. When those guns go off, everyone just like goes out. They race out with their covered wagons, their horses, and there's multiple plots of land with flags, and you got to claim that flag, pull it out, and plant your flag and claim your land. Those people were called boomers.
Yep.
Not the generation from like the 40s, but like those people were called boomers. Sooners are the shysters and the people who hid out in the woods and the tree line and waited till when things got started, or they went the day before and they claimed the land beforehand because they were smarter than everyone else. Shyster's a bad word. My apologies to all our Jewish friends out there. But the point of the matter is they did. And so what I think Ben Arbuckle wanted to do was honor our ancestors who stole land that didn't belong to them illegally. And that's what we did. We performed an illegal play, got away with it, and it's our land. Sorry, we got here first. Sorry, we were way over here while you were way over there. And nothing is more Oklahoma Sooner football than cheating to get a touchdown. And I'm proud of that play, and I will always be proud of that play. So to all our Auburn friends, suck my dick.
It's the funniest thing, because so many Auburn fans are. I mean, again, I mentioned it earlier in the video, and I mentioned it briefly to you, Sean, last night.
It was in the second quarter too, you pussies. You had an entire other half of football.
Correct.
Most of the second quarter, and you took the lead, and you still blew it.
They also had 10 more minutes of actual possession time. And where I wanted to go with that was, Sean, you said it before, the refs, we don't want to bitch about the refs. And I think both things can be true. That it goes back to what Bob Stoops said of don't put yourself in the position to let the refs decide the game.
Jimmy Johnson said that. Jimmy Johnson told the Hurricanes that when they went up to Notre Dame in 1988. And look what happened. They got screwed out of a touchdown. You have to leave no doubt in certain plays.
Now, I will say, both things can be true on that. And then the flip side of saying, boy, this crew was bad, because yes, this crew was bad. 23 penalties between both teams. That's atrocious. There was missed calls. There was calls that were incorrect. I think Auburn fans are losing their minds on that trick play. They're also losing their minds on Arbuckle flipping off the Auburn, which I think is actually pretty funny.
It makes me love him even more, at least for the time being, until everyone eventually turns on a coordinator.
Correct. I think it's just being funny. Like, you know what? No, it's pretty funny. He has a little bit of gamer in him. I'm game. But they're also losing their minds on the scoop and score when it was like, guys, they're coming up. They're I think, Sean, you said it last night. I'm trying to remember if it was you or someone else. So I apologize if I'm repeating your joke. But it's like they're looking through a murder mystery, trying to find all the little things to go like, oh, see that bad OU team. They're such cheaters. Like, we gotta take the win away. Like, dudes, shit happens. Guess what? We've been on the receiving end of that many times. Guess what? It happened twice in Stillwater, where phantom pass interferences that were never called on Stoops. Guess what? It happens. I hate to tell you guys, that's the game of football. Y'all are trying to put this into conspiracy, going into the point of I have the receipts. Okay, so screenshotted and saved of Auburn fans even going and saying we need to give them the death penalty. That not only should they return this win,
you don't take them seriously. You just point and laugh at them.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like, guys,
it makes them more mad. Like,
yeah, they are out. They are Alabama Aggie. They are as bad.
Mad at them. Do not get mad at their stuff. Just point and laugh at them and move on.
Yeah, they are literally Oklahoma State with a little more success. That is what they are. And I finally understand why Bama fans hate them. I never had a problem with Auburn fans before. Now I'm like, guys, you guys are nuts. Like, you're making up your own reality to the point that I'm going, what are you drinking? Because I have some of that. I need some bright stuff in my life. Like, holy crap. But man, they are going to be bitter about this. Like, I haven't seen a fan base this bitter since Oklahoma State in 2013. Oh man, they are so pissed off.
Oh yeah, the infamous
dropped interception from Justin Blackman.
The strip that should have been, that could have been an interception, but it was stripped.
Correct.
Out by who stripped it out? No, it wasn't Justin Blackman. It was 2013. It was the defensive back who's it was the OSU who yeah. Which wide receiver stripped it? I have to go back and look. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but that was a big moment. That was a key play, and it's like,
yeah.
That,
and they lost their minds. And it is the same level.
The problem was and that's a situation where you have to survive to the ground, because you go to the ground. Like, unlike Isaiah Satania, which the refs actually botched but replay fixed, because when Satania was a part of every single fucking call that was like egregious, allegedly, or controversial. He was always involved. You know what? He's the man responsible.
Correct.
Isaiah Satania.
Yep.
He is the man.
Put him in the wanted poster. Never go to Auburn.
It's like, don't go to Auburn. But for say, I remember watching that live, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, he caught the ball and took like 2 steps out of bounds before it was stripped out. That's a fucking catch.
Oh yeah, we were screaming in the stadium.
Yeah, I was just watching it at home, and it was like, that is a freaking catch, and he made a football move. The only reason it got ripped out was because he was already way out of bounds and just stripped it out. So it was like,
and what the insanity part?
All secure. He had like 2 steps, and then McElroy's like, and even McElroy's like, yeah. It's like, oh,
and that's what I've said. It's like, guys, fine. If we're gonna play both sides, guys, that scoop and score, fine, it counts, but this catch counts too. Because you can't have it both ways and saying that one's not and then this one is. Y'all just want to play the bias of the refs are against us and we paid off the refs. Bro, y'all keep saying that we have no money. How are we paying off these refs?
Well, they're a cow college. You have to understand they're a cow college.
Like, real fast, Gavin, I want to say my joke. They are clutching their pearls like harder than Rose and Jack hugged in Titanic. Like, they are that bad right now. Anyway, go ahead, Gavin.
Okay, so the one thing I will say, and I'm just kind of saying, and I know it's going to be like no excuse, but that judge was Okay, but the back judge was basically like right nearby in the play, and he was basically like trying to get out of Coleman's way on that double pass and everything, and he didn't get himself turned around in time to basically see what contact and everything that was going on within all that. So it was like he was either, A, going to get himself involved in the play by basically getting body contact with Coleman, or B, he had to basically move out of position and basically where he had to miss the entire thing, and he chose B, which he basically missed it and everything, and couldn't get himself back enough in time.
You know what I think?
I don't mean
I think?
Go ahead.
You know what I think? I think they should make the I think they should make the airplane out of the entire material they make the black box out of. That way they'll always find it.
Yeah. Like,
anyway, moving on.
Yeah, to say it like,
I
yes.
apologize for derailing you like that, but I
these guys.
Every once in a while, I like to throw. Every once in a while, I like to throw that shit out there just to.
But I mean, they are, again. It's wild. Like, they are meltdown mode. This is you cannot reason with them. There's people saying
they're just the prospectors. There's the prospector from Blazing Saddle.
By the way, what's the spread for A&M Auburn next week?
I do not know. I can check briefly.
Let's they play what, 3:30? Let me see here.
Yeah, they played 3:30. It is a 7-point favorite favoring A&M right now. And the spread is over under at 51.5 at the moment. Unless there's been an update, that's what I found. But it's wild to me again that just how insane the Auburn fans have been. Like, they're looking for anything for their credibility for it. So
oh yeah, hammer the cover right now, because no, that's the that's not the spread, that's the over under.
Right, the 51.5. The spread is 7.
No, the spread is 7.
What? Oh, we lost Sean for a second. He might be getting that, but it's going to be a wild. Yeah. Swiggy, do you got any? There we go. Let's see. Oh, we lost you for a sec, Sean.
Okay, that was weird. Well, yeah, Livestream was terrible. I was going to say, like, I was yelling at you, is like, that's not the spread, that's the over under. The spread is how much someone's favored by, or
Yeah, so, it's 7.
But no, my point is, like, hammer A&M to cover.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna. I just think an emotional loss on the road. See, that's what I worry about, win or lose in Dallas, us going to South Carolina, because I think win or lose, like, you can think what you want about South Carolina right now, because I know they lost to Mizzou, but Mizzou's a good football team, and so is Carolina. Just because they lost a close game, because that was close, because they were trying to get the ball back, and they put a field goal to put the game out of reach.
Yeah,
that's South Carolina is still a spot. And I always say, if OU gets through all of this and they go to South Carolina and win, they're playing with house money. And just let's see here. What the hell is this?
I think the big one. Oh, God.
No, it's nothing. My phone was tricking me into making me happy, and it was a fake notification.
That's fair. Like I said, on the ref ones with it, I think both things are valid. There's very few exceptions that the refs really do, because they're saying this one play decided because it was a 7-point swing. It wasn't, guys, because you don't know what was
play in the second quarter decided your game. Fuck
Correct.
You.
Correct. Now, I think you know what's wild to me, and I guess as I thought throughout the day, it's gotten even more insane, is that the SEC had the audacity to even put out a statement.
First of all, I think Audacity is a fine audio editing program. Okay, just want you to know that's a nerd joke.
Very fair. Very fair. It's better than SoundCloud or other ones, right?
Well, that's not an editing program. That's a place where
I thought SoundCloud had some editing.
I mean, maybe they do, but it's a place where you host your files. Like,
that's true. That's true.
Audacity is free and very user friendly. But no, it's
How
like
dare
yeah,
I?
no, but like they wanted to clarify whether it was because there were people were confused or not, and my favorite part is like they're like the fact that they admitted they practiced that is like shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like you know what? Because I'm sure they looked at the rule and they specifically coached Satania is like here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go wide. You're going to go over to the official on the line of scrimmage and look at him and say, am I
Yeah.
good? I'm good. So when he says he's good and he runs his route, that's why there wasn't a flag thrown.
Correct. He made sure, and I keep stressing the point on it that look, guys, fine. Let's roll with it for a moment. That's on your reffing crew for allowing it. That's not on OU. Oh, you practice this. Do you think we would have ran
Here's what's going to
something
happen.
if it was illegal? No,
Here's,
we wouldn't have. We would have done something else.
Here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, I think there's a 20% chance that the SEC might flip-flop on this. I think there's a 20% chance. So that's low. However, even if regardless, they're going to go back and that they're going to say, well, actually, now that we think, because in the moment we thought it was, I think there's a 20% chance they say that it was legal. That's me guessing here. I'm not saying basing this on anything. Now, that's why I have it as a low percentage. Now, having said that, it's going to be a topic of discussion for the next week because people are. It's going to be on Feinbaum all week. All week. It's going to be on Feinbaum all week. But here's the thing. They're going to. There's going to be discussion the off season to look at this in the NCAA to look at this rule and to make sure blah blah blah, make sure and so they're going to go over it in off season meetings and things with rule changes, and so they're going to make sure that you can or cannot do this. Period.
Correct.
So
and even for that, go ahead.
Here's the question that I have though too. It's like, how do you even determine if the player's just limping off just from an injury or just feeling like the issue with the play? I mean, that's good. That's a very gray line that you're basically trying to.
It's a broad rule.
Limping off from an injury. What?
Yes, because they were trying to crack down on injuries and they implemented that same rule. It's in the same area.
Right, but that's not what we're talking about here. If you're limping off for an injury, if Satania was acting like he was limping off for an injury and then got ready, yeah, that's totally by the letter of the law against that rule.
Which is funny because Auburn faked
injuries
yesterday, and two of the guys forgot who was supposed to get injured. Didn't see any flags or charged timeouts there, but beggars can't be choosers.
I'm not going to get into who was injured and who's not. I don't. Sure. I hate those fucking, especially what happened to the guy at Michigan State last night. That was horrible. So
yeah, it was.
I'm not in. I hate those conversations straight up, but
sure. What's funny is Hugh Freeze even said we discussed this in the offseason.
Well, Hugh Freeze is kind of trying to call timeout. He was losing his goddamn mind, and the fact that he couldn't get a timeout, I don't know why. You should be mad at two people if you're an Auburn fan. You should be mad at Hugh Freeze or the refs.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with this. Is they said they had a conversation, and supposedly it was like a 30-minute meeting. It's like, hey. Kudos to Arbuckle. Fine. If that's how it's going to be. He tested to see if they were actually going to enforce it. They didn't. That's on your refereeing crew still. Good for him. The second one is Hugh Freeze at that point too. That's what it boils down to. You're upset because Hugh did not get his timeout in before they snapped the ball for whatever reason for it, and now you think the game is rigged. That's what it comes down to.
He's like, I gotta miss. I haven't seen Hugh Freeze that upset since he missed his tea time. Man, it's just.
Yeah, that's generally what it is, and that they can't admit they got burned on a trick play, because if this is it, then all trick plays are delusional,
if this play
malicious.
If this play happened with 1:40 left in the fourth, and it was the deciding factor of the football game, I would totally understand their outrage, but it wasn't. But it was in the second quarter, bro. I don't want to hear it.
And you guys got tied it up at the half too.
They're more. I think they're more valid to be upset with the overturn on the fumble return in the first quarter. They have more reason to be upset over that because
Which is
that one
funny.
that one was weird, and it's like I don't know what they're calling here. I didn't know what the call was at first, and I don't know what they were looking at, and then they just determined they finally determined it was an incomplete pass that he never
See,
had
and I
control.
didn't even think that because I was just like, it's either incomplete, he was already down, or he fumbled, like bobbled it. He didn't have control.
If
I'm
he
like,
had
I don't
caught that,
see any.
if he had truly caught that, like letter of the law, then yeah, it's a fumble return for a TD, and it's like, oh shit. But oh well. Like again, the first quarter, it didn't cost you the game. It's like that's 14
Correct.
points we should have had. It's like okay,
Correct. And again, don't the reffing crew is bad. If they get suspended, I think that's going to happen. I think they will get suspended for a week because it was a bad job, regardless.
well, you got to remember here. It's like
They're not going to do
whenever
that.
like they say that they alluded to that in that statement. They always like
they may be
always
demoted.
well, hang on. They always try to placate people and say they're gonna do that, but then they very quietly work a game anyway. Because
Yeah.
most fans who are really pissy and are upset with those things don't even know where to look to find out where refs work a game. They don't even know where to start on Google. So
Correct.
I mean, it took me 2 seconds. So, but it's just, I mean,
Again, we can say the crew was bad, and that's okay because yes, they were bad, but they were bad for both sides.
you know what's going to happen now? Like, you have Auburn fans who are searching Facebook feeds looking for referees, and they're looking for banners of where they went to school or where they work or where they live, and because you know how I know this because we fucking did that shit with Texas Tech in like what was it 05?
09.
No 05.
With the Phantom touchdown.
Yeah, because I know
I thought
for
that
a
was
fact-
09.
No, 09 we got our asses whooped. There was no controversy.
Yeah, we got killed in 09.
That
Well,
was
I
when-
remember that, but I
that was
thought there was a Phantom touchdown.
that was when Ryan
game.
Broyles. That was when Ryan Broyles embarrassed himself by high stepping in the end zone. We were down like 4 scores anyway. It was like, bro, we're getting our asses whooped. You're high step in the end zone. Stop it.
Damn it, Ryan.
I was just like, nah, just don't do that.
Yeah.
We good. But
yeah.
hideout tactic, in my opinion. People posted the kick six. Hideout tactic. You know what's funny? You know what's hilarious about that? I've got a video if I can find it.
Yeah.
Of a bunch of Alabama fans watching the kick six. And
yeah.
There's this, and it's a guy I know from my old TTC days, and it's like his nephew. He's going, "You can't do that." And then his uncle, who's like who runs the channel, he's like, "Yes, you can." He's like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Yes, they can." He's very sad, despondent, but he's trying to tell his nephew, he's like, "Yeah, they can." That's why he was back there. They can do. You can't do that. Just like the thickest young boy accent. He's like, "Yes, they can."
Yeah.
It's like there's so many good like kick six reaction videos, but I love that one the most because he's just so he was the denial was so strong in that moment, and I don't blame him because when you have a moment like that happen to you in a spot like that, it's like you don't know how to process what the fuck just happened.
Right, which is funny, Sean, because when you mentioned that one, I think there was some OU fans pointing out, guys, this so-called trick play stuff, you did that against Alabama, and I believe it was the Iron Bowl in 2019, and yours was even more egregious. Like, if we're going to be playing both sides, like, we can point out all the times you did it. Oh, did you know Lane Kiffin did this with Ole Miss versus A&M in 2023? Wasn't called then. I believe they pointed out Lincoln Riley did it against K-State. Wasn't called then.
But you know what this means?
OU's back. We're SEC ready.
Well, you always try to jump ahead of what I'm trying to say here. You always try to guess, and you don't let me finish.
I like guessing. It's fun.
No, it's like it means we're officially, truly a member of this conference now.
How so?
Because we're hated. We're part of a controversial moment in a game that they're going to remember for years. Because that's what college football, our fucking fan base never forgets the shit that happened in Oregon 19 years ago. That's 19 years ago that shit happened, and motherfuckers still bring that up in my chat. Like they were bringing it up in my chat 2 weeks ago when talking about bad officiating. I'm like, motherfucker, you're talking about one of the most extreme examples in the history of the game. talking about bad officiating for the Big Ten. I tried to tell people, I tried to warn people. Did I not come on here or go on my channel and tell you, because everyone bitched about the Big Ten refs. I said,
Yeah, it was here and on your channel too.
okay, because I tried to tell people, I don't. If you you think SEC refs going to be better? Just you watch and see what happens. Now, did I expect this? No, but it just proves my point even more. Just don't assume just because there are refs or there's no conference referees anyone points to says, you know what, I got to give it to the Mountain West refs. They're fantastic. They do this. No one says that shit.
Yeah.
There are no referees where you go, you know what, I thought you called a great game. Usually, if you do say that shit, you say that shit tongue in cheek if you win a game like 63-0. You know what I mean?
Correct.
If it's a close game and you're just like biting your fingernails, and if you lose, you're not going to say, well, the refs did a fantastic job, because you're going to blame a holding call in the third quarter as the reason you lost or some bullshit.
Correct.
So these guys get paid $2,500 a game, which sounds like a lot, but when in the current
but they have to pay for their own stuff and everything.
Yeah, so it's like
it's not that much.
I feel if you pay referees full time and give them year-round training and just let them be refs full time, then maybe they get better at their job, and it's not something they do on the side as a side hustle.
And also make it consistent across all conferences of like
referees
pass interference.
I think I've always felt referees need to be paid full time.
Yeah. I've always held that opinion. They don't get paid enough with the shit that they deal with, and it takes too long to go through the system to get to that point. Like, that's why there's a reffing shortage at the current moment. But yeah, yeah. But we won. That's what matters at the end of the day. OU gets the W. It's never going to change, as much as Auburn fans are going to whine, gripe, and complain to the main office.
Eddie's meeting with Senator Tuberville tomorrow. Remember, so it's going to get.
That's right. I'm sorry. Well, but it won't be addressed unless we make the playoff or SEC championship. That's where it really needs to be addressed.
Fucking hell! It's like that shit's going to matter, because. Just like how remember when the AP poll was like, hey, as an AP poll, are you going to recognize Oklahoma as like not having a loss yet? No.
Yeah.
That shit didn't happen. I was fucking livid over that shit. It was like they didn't treat us any different.
Yeah.
And hell, I remember back then our O-line had issues in short yardage situations in 2006. Like, like Adrian Peterson was a beast up until he got hurt in the freaking Iowa State game, very last play, where he just like falls on his collarbone, just like terrible.
Yeah,
but
and that's the funny thing. You say that. That's
I'm rambling on, but it's like, no, they're not going to treat this any differently. So anyone who says like, oh, they're going to if this comes down to it, it's like one of these teams aren't going to be in the playoff mix at the end. I think both teams are very good teams overall. Yeah. But let's be honest here, one of us is not going to be there. Hell, both of us may not be there.
Correct.
So. I don't want to hear this garbage about
Yeah. We won. It doesn't matter. To answer your question, Jimmy, right now it's just speculation. They would probably be suspended for a week. I don't think they'll get fined.
I don't think they're getting suspended. Period.
Really? Not even for a week,
I think
or demoted or whatever.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked.
I'd be shocked.
They will very quietly work a game somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Are they going to be moved from prime time game to like these? You're in the lower tier games.
I don't know, but they're going to work a game somewhere.
Sure. I don't
probably
think
Georgia, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be like until someone points out like, well, why do Georgia, Kentucky have a combined 22 penalties in the first half? And then someone goes, hang on a minute, I recognize these officials.
How mentioning that, I know we only have about 12 minutes left, but it's something I was going to ask, and I just remembered it. A lot of people were complaining that first off, I'll remember this too. I'll circle back around. I'm squirreling. But was the telecast really bad? A lot of people said it was bad.
Oh, and it was terrible. It was freaking
it was not
terrible.
What happened? Obviously, I was at the game, so I don't know what happened.
What are we talking about?
Was the telecast
broadcasting
really
crew? Yeah, it was bad because it was like basically they couldn't not just oohing and awing over Auburn on every little thing. They pretty much were Auburn bias.
Oh my god, are we doing
Yes,
this?
we
Are we
are doing this.
Are
We are
seriously-
doing
No,
this,
Are we
Sean.
seriously doing this?
I didn't know. That's why I wanted to ask, because I was at the game. I didn't watch the game. I haven't just sat and watched. That's not what I do.
I will give you one moment where I laughed my ass off at what
Sure.
Gavin is talking about. And I think
Sure.
Gavin knows what I mean. It is the funniest moment because I know what he's talking about, but the ultimate example of that was a beautiful punctuation. It was 4th down at the end of the game. Jackson Arnold's has one last chance. And right before R. Mason Thomas just swallows him whole, you hear Greg McElroy say, "Throw it to Coleman."
I mean, that's what he did all game. Is up, chuck and pray. Here's the.
I mean, but like I, you know what, man? It's just maybe I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody. I'm not trying to insinuate that. You know what I really think it is? I think
They
it's
want
the
to be
fact,
us.
No, it's like I've been to broadcasting school and I've learned a few tricks of the trade.
Sure.
I've done sports talk radio a
Yeah.
little bit. This shit doesn't bother me like it does you guys. It really doesn't. Now, not to say that I don't go against certain media members, because I do, because I know who the bought and paid for members are. There are members where I go, yeah, you're bought and paid for, you're bought and paid for, you're bought and paid for, you're bought and paid for. But when it comes to calling a game,
I normally don't. Yeah, I mean, I normally don't care.
Doesn't bug me as much as it does.
Sure,
I normally don't care.
I didn't.
But it was bad.
I didn't know. Like I said,
It
I was
was
at the
bad.
game.
Now,
I
Joe
didn't-
Klatt loves to bottle Jim Harbaugh's bathwater and sell it on his website along with Colin Cowherd. So
Sure.
when he was at Michigan, it was pretty bad. Like if you watch Joel Klatt's weekly visit with Cowherd, like here are the regular segments are always like Michigan, SC, Deion Sanders, Belichick is being talked about now. Texas always gets talked about. It's like boom, boom, boom. We're doing the media hype machine versions of things. Whether there's we're looking at the tire fires, just whatever it may be. So I know how that system works. I know why they do certain things, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're just sometimes Joel Klatt is good at what he does, but there are times he's full of shit.
Sure.
A lot of people were saying it was egregious. Like the guys I love in the media, I love Cole Kublik. I think he's fucking great. His breakdowns, his weekly breakdowns, especially with the SEC, are fucking great. I actually think like McElroy isn't that bad, but but the whole throw it to.
What wasn't there one?
The whole throw to Centennia and everything.
Wasn't there one? I think I saw it. Unless
I
I'm
was just gonna say,
remembering
like the
it
throw to
wrong.
Centennia and everything else.
Yeah.
I love winning a game when Sean McDonough is calling our games because I love his play-by-play style. I love McDonough. McDonough's a fun play-by-play guy.
Sure. What was there one? I guess where they were saying like, Auburn had this like insurmountable lead or something when it was like a 1 point. I think I saw that too, like just through comments, but I don't know.
I don't know what anyone's talking about with that shit.
No.
I don't pay attention to that shit
Sure.
like y'all do. And I'm watching the game. Like
no.
I am laser focused on like next play, next down, next play, next down.
Yeah.
Like maybe I've done this too long where just that shit doesn't bother me anymore.
Sure. Again, it was just me following up. I just don't know.
No, I think. Well, here's the thing, though, and this is what I think was driving me crazy. It was basically they were trying to do the whole victim complex with Auburn. That was basically the whole point of the entire broadcast.
Well,
that I think is what drove me crazy. Yeah. I know, but I'm just saying more than anything. Hold on, Sean, hold on, real quick. I'm just telling you, it was just basically like they were just trying to basically coddle and take care of basically these Auburn fans more than anything, and that basically is giving them, much more issues to cry about. That's just basically all I'm just getting at more than anything. To where,
you think
it was just like they were.
You think former Alabama quarterback like Greg McElroy is coddling Auburn?
It would not surprise me if anything else, though. Too,
Like,
even though
come
he
on.
hates. No, I don't care if he went to Alabama or not. But it was just weird because it was like especially because he's more of an old SEC guy a little bit than this new SEC with OU and Texas being in it. Kind of
I
considers them Big
y- y-
12 days, if anything.
you see, like I wish I could. Speaking of bottling things, I wish I could bottle whatever I have in me and give it to some of y'all, so you don't like obsess over this shit. I really do. I want to. I want to be help. I want to help. I want to help lower some of y'all's stress levels. I really do. I want to be helpful. I want you to be able to watch a game and enjoy it and not be miserable or feel the need to mute the television because we're not listening to our Homer radio broadcasters and we're not hearing you can unhitch the wagon but ponies in the barn. I'm not making fun of
Toby.
Toby. I love Toby, but like if we're not hearing Toby, then it's terrible. It's like I don't necessarily agree with that. But so I think like there's plenty of moments where play-by-play and color guys will say silly shit, and it more so entertains me now. If they say something stupid, then I get mad. I'm just like,
You've
so
mellowed out
no,
from it.
well, for me, it wasn't really mad. It was just like
you could have fooled me.
No, I'm just saying I wasn't really mad. I'm not really mad, but it was just like, good Lord Almighty, like have a
Everyone
little bit of
thinks
hit, just have a little bit of hit.
Okay, it wasn't
side
okay. It
of
wasn't as
anything.
bad as Gavin is saying. It wasn't.
everyone
bad.
thinks everyone's like it's like this is not unique to OU. Everyone thinks announcers are against their team. This is not new. So, and I'm not defending every single one, but it's like if a play-by-play guy gets excited of an amazing touchdown play, they're against us. No, dude, it was an 80-yard bomb that was like thrown on a dime. It was like an amazing play. They're gonna go nuts.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's just like if you have to make comments of stuff that's happened previously, especially with that play over and over and over again, that's where I get the issue more than anything.
They're telling the story of the football game. Because whether you like it or not, it was controversial. It doesn't matter if it went our way or not. It was controversial. And
it's not about the issue of being controversial. It was controversial in itself, but the problem is it almost made Auburn look like the victim here, and that's what's driving me crazy.
Okay, but here's the thing: commentators are always this is something I'm going to teach y'all something here because this is something that was taught to me.
I'm with David on the comments, by the way, so just giving you a heads
up. Hang on. I'm gonna teach y'all something here because this is what was taught to me, and this is something I've done. And I've done simulated stuff. I've done like low level stuff, but like I've sat in a booth and what they gave us. We prepped for a pre-recorded game. We had to call the game. We were graded on it and so forth. So this is what we're taught. So, and this is taught by former ESPN producers, stuff like that. So I just want to get this. What people are taught, at least, whether it's like major broadcasting schools like Syracuse, Missouri, those are some of the two big ones. I know Oklahoma's come up over the years as well. What they teach you is you're trying to keep the viewer's attention. They don't care they don't care who you root for because they can't see you. They're trying to make their game just as important as all the other games that are on that day. So if it's a close game, they're rooting for interesting. They don't necessarily want Auburn to win or want Auburn to avenge. They want Auburn to like if Auburn's trailing most of the game, right?
Yeah.
They're not rooting for Auburn to win. They want Auburn to keep it close and interesting. So when you get to the end like you did, you have an amazing finish. And whoever wins. And correct me if I'm wrong, did Sean McDonough sound pretty pumped and excited when Grayson Halton was sacking Jackson Arnold and when R. Mason Thomas made plays? Let's not pretend that Sean McDonough didn't go, what an amazing play by this Oklahoma defense, because they did.
Sure.
because all we can remember is like the negative emotions we attach to bad things happening to our team.
Sure.
So you're taught to like accentuate, like, everyone's got their style, right? But every play-by-play guy team wants the game to come down to the bitter end. That's all they want. That's what they want more than anything. Now, there are some that are great at their job. There's some that are not so good at their job. There's a lot of color guys. Just because you're a former athlete and you put on a headset doesn't make you a great color guy. Tom Brady still has some work to do, and he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, right? He still has some stuff he's got to. Tony Romo was a little over the top, and he's kind of like, I don't know, Jim. You can either love it or hate that, that type of shit. So all I'm saying is like, this is years of like, this is a handful. I've been mentored by some people who've done this, and whether it's radio guys or guys who have been in the business for years. So I understand sitting in classrooms and actually trying to put on a headset and kind of doing it a little bit.
Yeah.
What you're going for. So I'm not gonna pretend you're not gonna get mad at an announcer like starting this week, but like the mentality is like, we want our game to be exciting and amazing to watch, and they're trying to do a reel themselves because they're sometimes like
it's their job and stuff too. Yeah,
because even if you're on ESPN doing a game, they're auditioning for how many years down the road to move up to the bigger games, because Fowler and Herbstreit aren't going to do it forever. Now they have the spot right now, but Fowler's getting up there. I don't know how long because he may one day say, I just want to do tennis, and just like, I'm just going to, kick back and do tennis or so. But again, like, I think McDonough's got his spot there right now. But it's like, I'm just saying, it's like there are plenty of moments in the game yesterday where Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy praised Oklahoma for making plays. And Greg McElroy, remember the instant replay? He's like, you know what? I think he caught that football. Was he against us then? No. He said, no, he caught that football. He broke it down. It's like, let's look at play by play. I'm just trying to say, they play both sides, guys. They want the game to be interesting.
I think
they want the game to come down to, they wanted the game to end the way it ended.
I think
exactly like that.
And I think and again, it's almost been maybe 15 years now, but even my very limited stuff with Sooner Vision for it, I even remember with the color commentary stuff of, hey, look for interesting shots for it. Like, we're trying to tell a story. Yes, the game is going on, but we want that instant crowd reaction. We want those surrender covers. We want the cheering. Yes, do we want people flipping off the camera? No.
They look for kids crying in the crowd, man. They want the emotion.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's the same thing. They want the players crying. The only hard.
This has been a great ethics and sports journalism talk.
Right. Well,
man, I can't remember the last time we had. I feel like I've gone back to college on all this.
I have at least some experience of like why they do things. Now, when it comes to the storytelling, though, nobody knows better than me, and I call it out all the time when they try too hard and they try to manufacture a story or manufacture a myth,
correct,
or manufacture a legend. That shit does happen. See Arch Manning,
or see the Alabama. Did you know he's 17 years old?
They overplayed that one, but to be fair,
but you agree.
Ryan Williams made plays last year, so let's be fair.
Sure.
That's why they kept doing it. That's why they kept on pushing that button. Did you know he's 7? So sometimes they overplay their hand.
Sure.
But that's how you work on your craft.
And something to add to that, from Sooner Vision, we got the focus on the players, guys. Like, people hate it when you see the players cry. Guess what? That's part of the game.
That's where the emotion is.
Correct. They said there was one hard rule. Gavin and Sean, I don't know how it is for y'all's what y'all were taught or where you work at. We were told, do not focus on the coaches. The coaches are not part of the story. We don't want them throwing headsets. They were getting angry at certain points, and coaches were an exception to the rule of do not film.
But you're talking about
correct. But that was kind of blanket when they were even bringing people.
But to an extent, Sooner Vision state media in a sense. So
no, when they were doing training, because we would bring in ESPN people in, and they would say, "Do not focus on the coaches. Do not focus on at the point Bob. Do not focus on Mike Leach. The coaches do not want to be on the TV. Focus on everything else. We will have it internally for like B reels, not for that." And I remember there was an infamous one with the Sugar Bowl where Nick Saban threw his headset, and that got on television, and they were. Apparently Nick Saban lost his mind on the crew.
Dude, you're
for that.
a public figure. So
Oh,
like,
I know.
Remember Bob's reaction to the Jimmy Stevens low screwball kick at Florida
Well,
State?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just like a big. I think if anything else, too, I think it's just it's just interesting. It just depends on the situation of the story. I think that's the only issue,
Sure.
if anything else, though, too, because it's like if the
Sure.
coach is on the hot seat or something like that, that's
You're
still going to be a story in itself, and it's something you can't really hide from it anyway. So it's like,
yeah, you're telling me
Sure.
they're not going to have a
you're not
camera
going to
on Billy
focus it
Napier?
on. You're going to still focus on the game, but you'll just have to
Sure.
basically sprinkle it in. You don't have to show it all the shots all the time or anything like that, but you have to find a way to weave it in.
Yeah, they're going to show coaches, especially if
Which-
they're happy and they celebrate. They're definitely going to do that.
Which is funny, Gavin, because yeah, sure. What's funny for me is that's why I don't know, it might be controversial to say it, but I didn't have a problem with them with it was the Tennessee kicker and them showing him. It's part of the game. Like, yeah, it sucks that or the Notre Dame, whichever one it was for it. Like, yeah, it's a bummer, but he's part of the team, guys. That's part of the storyline.
Well, speaking of kickers, like Auburn's kicker apparently was
Yeah, especially when they were showing Josh Heupel with the kicker missing the kick and having to go overtime with Georgia.
Well, the Auburn kicker, they were telling a story about him.
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with like in that sort of sense when it's a tight
Hello?
game,
Yeah.
No, I'm still here. I just
I
think
Sean
it's just
was
if
here right
anything.
here,
Okay, what I was going to say.
I was just
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Gavin. Go ahead.
I was just saying, if anything, that it's just part of the, like you said, the high emotions of anything. Because especially if you get like that moment to where if he did make that field goal, you would definitely want to be able to see the coach's emotion and everything after, beating Georgia, which was like a high ranking game, if anything. Because, at least that way you have some stuff going on. So it's like, yes, there are hard rules about not trying to show the coaches, but there are, some exceptions, especially when it's a tie of a game and you want to be able to get like all the different reaction shots that you can forget.
They show
Now,
the coaches
that would basically be the director's jobs of, choosing the shots and everything in order to tell that story, because you have to be, so many different cameras and all that and everything.
But
too.
they show the
So
coaches
that
all the
a lot
time.
has to go to the director and the producer itself.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, they show the coaches all the time, though, especially after big kicks and stuff like that. They show their reaction after the fact if they make it or not. So, I mean, I'm just gonna. I mean, I think there's maybe miscommunication. So on that one, but like the Auburn kicker had like a story. He had like a medical issue, and he had to have a lot of his intestines removed, and he looks like a stick, and so.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. He's going to go out and see if he makes this kick. And of course, he shanks one in the game yesterday. So that's part of the story. Hey, he went out there and he shanked a kick. So if he would have made a kick, it would have been part of the story. They would have said, wow, after having most of his intestines removed, he goes out there and makes a kick. It's not like pro Auburn or negative OU. It's like, hey, what a great story that this young kid overcame adversity and made a kick in a game.
Right.
That's what it would have been. So.
Sure.
Anyway, so
sure. Let's I only have one more thing because I know we're 8 minutes over, guys, but I do want to mention one brief thing and then we'll wrap up live stream. So Auburn game's done. OU has a bye week, and we have our scrimmage, as Sean and Gavin had said, against Kent State before going to Texas. So we have 3 weeks for guys to heal up. But the big thing is I guess, news thing for us this week being on the bye week is OU will find out their 3 permanent opponents and the SEC schedule for 2026. There's been and I don't know what y'all have heard or anything, but there appears to be little bits and pieces that have been leaking out that it does look like OU's permanent opponents will probably be obviously Texas. That one's not going to change. Spoiler alert. It does seem like Missouri because they want some type of like Big A. You played each other, whatever. It's because nobody wants Missouri.
I don't
But
want a grown man play date. Fuck that.
Yeah, well, that's what we're stuck with. The last one that seems to be up in the air with it, but it sounds like it's starting to lean that Arkansas is going to be our third one. It seems like there was some debate with A&M, but A&M slots have filled up. There was some debate, apparently LSU, but I've heard some chatter that OU and LSU don't want to play each other on Thanksgiving. Now, we'll see on that one. And then Florida, and I think Florida is being used as kind of a slot for other teams, leaving Arkansas. I've heard little different things as well as like they want to give OU like actually like 3 places to travel to. Arkansas made the most sense for it. And they also wanted something for like a big Thanksgiving one, which might be the Arkansas game. I don't know what both of y'all have heard for it, but that's kind of the chatter that I keep
Arkansas
hearing.
has more of a they're more tied to Texas and LSU more than us.
Correct. And it sounds like they may not get LSU, which is really weird. But I didn't know if y'all heard anything. Yeah, I don't know why, but apparently LSU, Arkansas is getting Texas as the permanent opponent.
Well, yeah, but LSU would have probably Ole Miss.
And to keep in mind that they were trying to avoid like the big helmet matchups, like getting 2 of them, but that's going to be unavoidable for like Auburn. You're getting Georgia, you're getting Alabama. Alabama, you're getting Auburn, you're getting Tennessee, that type of stuff. But did y'all hear, Sean, did you hear anything kind of like going into, I think, what is it, Tuesday or Wednesday that they're...
It's Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, so I'll be streaming that. I'll be doing a live stream, just like talking about that. So
Sure. What have you heard anything for our permanent opponents, or even if we get what our opponents are going to look like?
All I know is the only one that's for certain is Texas. That's it. I mean, Texas. Sure. I mean, Texas is the least like. Gee, I wonder who Texas is going to play. They're going to play OU, A&M, and Arkansas. That's like the one everyone knows.
And I think A&M has been leaked out there playing Texas, Arkansas, and LSU.
They're keeping the LSU game. That's interesting.
Yeah, but again, that's chatter, but that does make sense. It's kind of, as everyone said, it seems like the third game is well, it makes sense they're going to give us Missouri because no one else wants Missouri, but who's third? Well, it seems like Josie may have been diverting a little bit of like, it's a border state, then that has to be Arkansas.
So Georgia's going to get Auburn, Florida, and
I don't know.
Carolina.
Not off the top of my head. Maybe.
Carolina,
maybe.
It's a rivalry game. It's a border rivalry game. So
maybe.
We'll see. They'll have to update the video game next year with the 3 permanent opponents. So because they only have 2 in this year's game. So we were able to do 2. It's like it's probably gonna be 3. Yeah, but we did 2. It's like, all right,
sure.
2. So next year's game will be fun.
Sure.
Anyway, you wrap this up.
Yeah, real quick, Gavin, did you hear anything as well? So I can wrap it up.
I mean, like I said, I was probably thinking it was going to be probably Arkansas and Missouri. I think a lot of it because I think everybody's just kind of going in somewhat of a regional sense, if anything. I mean, it's like I would have loved for it to be LSU, but in hindsight, I just don't know if that was going to be the case with like all the stuff that LSU wants to kind of keep with the old SEC folks and everything. So I think they're trying to do this to where it's kind of like almost like Southwest meets Big 12 sort of feel, if anything, within the SEC. That's kind of what the vibes I've been getting.
Sure. If they lean with Arkansas, I'm assuming that it's probably maybe to appease the east side of the state, like with the Tulsa area. So anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all for joining tonight. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining. We had a great turnout tonight. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live or when I upload a video. Again, this week is a bye week, so we may have something on Wednesday as we circle around, maybe talk about the pod stuff. Otherwise, we may not live stream until next week after the bye week is over, going into Kent State, just to give everybody a little bit of rest. Let me work on the channel and get me some videos, upload in some reaction stuff as well. Again, Sean, Gavin, thank you for joining. Boomer Sooner, guys. There's only one, and we'll see everybody here either in a week or about 2 weeks. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the bye week and enjoy the awesome week 5 slate. Have a good one.